Hello, welcome to the Q&A practice for the 80 class. We're going to start off with the plaintiff and the subject is automobile accident. Okay, ready? Mr. Birch, will you state your relationship with the plaintiff, Mr. Swanson? I am a friend of Mr. Swanson's. Will you state whether or not you observed an automobile accident on September 10? I did. Where was that accident? It was at 3rd and Oak. Where had you been coming from when you saw the accident? We were coming from a friend's house. And where does this friend live? He lives on James Avenue off of 3rd. About how far is that from where the accident happened? I would say 4 or 5 blocks. Will you state why you were over at this friend's house? Well, he just got married and we went over there to see him for the first time since the wedding. I see. Who else was there besides yourself and your friend and his wife, Mr. Swanson? Did you arrive together or separately? We arrived separately. How did you get there? I drove in my own car. Will you state what you did while you were visiting your friend? Oh, we watched TV and we had one drink, then we ate. How late did you watch TV? Do you remember approximately? I would say until about 12:30. And about what time did you leave? It must have been a little after 2. Did you leave separately? That's right. When did you next observe Mr. Swanson's car? About a block away, because he went around the block and I met him at the next block. I got behind him. Will you explain why he went around the block? Because he was facing in the other direction. Were both your cars on the same street, but facing in different directions? Yes. Which way were you facing? I was facing west, so I could get on 3rd Avenue. Will you explain the weather conditions as you started to drive home? The weather was very good. And the road conditions? They were good too. Then both your car and Mr. Swanson's car were proceeding on 3rd Avenue. Is that correct? That's right. In which direction were you proceeding? We were going south. How many blocks did you travel on 3rd before you got to Oak? About 3 blocks. And how far were you behind Mr. Swanson's car? about half a block. Are you able to remember your speed at that time as you were traveling down 3rd Avenue? About 25 miles an hour. Was the distance between your car and the Swanson's car increasing or decreasing? It stayed about the same. Were you able to observe the speed of the Swanson's car as it proceeded ahead of you? He was going about the same speed as I was. Now, as the Swanson car approached Oak Street, a half block ahead of you, will you tell the jury what you saw there? Well, I saw his brake lights go on. That caught my attention, and the sound of the brakes caught my attention. Then I saw the crash. Did you see the defendant's car before the crash? No, I didn't. When you saw the crash, what did you do? I stopped. Approximately where did you stop, if you remember? About the middle of the block on 3rd. Would this be north or south of the accident? It would be north of the accident. I see. And what did you do then? I got out of the car and went to see what it was all about. I saw Mr. Swanson lying on the street. Now, did you observe where the cars were as they came to rest after the accident? Yes, I did. Where was Mr. Swanson's car? It was close to the curb, facing northwest. I would say it was more or less north. Did you observe where the defendant's car was? Yes, I did. It was in the front yard of a house. It went through a wooden fence and more or less ended up in the hedges. It flew over the curb and landed in the hedges. Okay, so we've got a few more minutes. I'm going to read the dog bite transcript again. We'll continue from there. This is defense questioning. Ready? When the dog ran at Daniel, did you see what Daniel did? Yeah. With your own eyes? Yes. What did Daniel do? He started to climb the fence. Did you see Daniel climb the fence? Yes. How far up the fence did you see Daniel climb? Just like halfway, almost up to the top. Where were you when you saw Daniel halfway up the fence? I was in the garage by the car. Were you going into the house? Yes. I'm sorry. What was the answer to that last question? Yes. Yes, thank you. Okay. Did you hear Daniel say anything to the dog? No. Did you hear Daniel yell at the dog? No. Okay, that concludes our Q&A for the 80 class. Have a great day.